But I thought that'd be, if you wanted to talk to him, I thought that would be a good chance. Yeah,
I will
you,
check.
you can keep that. if you want.
We've been notified.
Oh, okay,
We've been invited.
okay,
Yeah, I definitely will speak up.
okay.
Well, 6:30, we do have a quorum, so it's good. This is North Hero Parks and Rec monthly meeting. It's October 14th, 2025, and it's 6:30 PM. We'll introduce ourselves for recording. Jean Metherall, Chair. Bernie Scutel.
John Scutel, member. Michael Clausen, member.
Bonnie Cody, member.
Tim Bourne, Select Board.
And right now, I don't see anybody on Zoom. There's only one participant, and that's us. Okay, we do have a quorum, so we'll go ahead. Any adjustments to the agenda? Okay, meeting minutes from the September meeting. Any comments? Should we put it up?
Move.
Okay, move.
Second.
Any further comments?
John Booth, Michael second.
Any further comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say. Okay, that motion carries. And see no visitors in the room, thus far, no comments. Let's start out with P-lots and the deer exclusion fencing. I was kind of hoping Scott would be here, but a group of us got together and put up the deer fencing a few weeks ago. We put up 2 areas and we had a good crew there. It's up, the signs are up associated with it, with a description of what we're doing. I sent a letter to the Green Mountain Audubon, giving them some background on what we did and some information. Apparently it goes into their newsletter, some pictures. And there's $1,400 remaining on that, which they said we could just use towards P-lots. So the grants,
Nice.
so that's still something that could carry over. It's actually in a fund since it's a grant / donation. It can go into next year if we choose for it. But it went up well. Scott's had to go back a couple times and re-zip tie a few things. Yeah, so we'll see how it survives through the
Okay.
winter. And we cleared out a good part of the area, but most likely there's gonna be some growth of garlic mustard and stuff in those areas, so I would expect that next summer, we're gonna have to do a little cleaning in each just to keep the maple trees having a fighting chance.
How high are the fence?
How high?
Yeah.
I would say they're 8 to 10 feet. So what
That's great.
we put in these metal posts
Yeah.
and then put PVC piping
Yeah.
on top of it. And then wired around the top of it with kind of a cord-like thing, and then put the fencing on the outside of that. Each area has hooks in one of the trees in a corner, so you can actually open
Oh.
the fencing
that's
up, because
good.
it's just hooked there.
That's great.
Instead of tied down, it's tied down to the remaining spaces,
That's
so.
great.
So you can maintain the inside.
Yeah, so there's a
Yeah.
door, shall we say, that we can
Right.
get in to maintain, but it's very high. High enough they can't jump it. So the only thing I'm concerned about is one of the areas went right through an obvious deer trail, so we'll see. what They run into while they're running away from these hunters or something. The brush hogging in the middle field was completed a couple weeks ago by Chad, so that's being paid for now. And Terry has done some blazing, but the Maple Meander really needs some additional blazing because people get lost when they're snowshoeing there. You can see footprints like all over the hill there. So one of us will probably go back and make sure that trail gets blazed in particular.
These are the trails of P-lots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the one in the maple that kind of winds around a little bit, people just start walking all over the place, and I'm worried that they're gonna hit a downed tree or something like that.
I'd be happy to go with you if you want to do that.
Okay. Although
Give me
we
a call.
might wanna wait, it's hunting season now. I just wanted to remind everybody that we do have money still for this year for 3 or 4 areas where we have the treads, the water boards are, and the water boards are kind of failing, and then we have agreed to, we wanted to put some kind of levels or steps in there, so we'll have to start planning for that over the winter so we can get people to do it or get some help for doing that. Oh, Scott, I just gave an update on the deer exclusion.
Very good.
Okay.
I moved fast. Didn't know I was that late.
And then we was talking about blazing the maple meander, but I was bringing up the 4 areas to improve either the water flow and the water boards. We have money for that this year, not next year, this year, so we'll have to plan it through the winter probably, try and get somebody lined up to help us do that in the spring. The boardwalk reroute. So, you wanna give us an
Sure.
update on capital?
Please feel chime in as well.
Okay.
The capital improvement committee met with the select board. This was last week,
Yes.
just to give a status report and to give an update on the projects that are under consideration for this year's capital improvement plan. And I think without people explicitly saying it, that my sense, my read of the tone and the tenor of the meeting is that the select board is not gonna entertain
Pain.
paying for this particular project.
Yeah.
So, to make things easier, for the select board, if we're inclined to do so, I would suggest we withdraw the request at this time. That way it won't be included on anything. There won't be a lot of questions and a lot of issues. And they did ask some questions about possible rerouting, and also, are there certain areas that where we need to remove boards because they're a safety issue at this point? And if so, what does that entail?
So to that first question,
Yeah.
there are, it's getting slick because it's living in water
Yeah.
and they've been replaced and we've put shingles on top of it, but it's still slick through there. The benefit of having that trail is that it's the easiest trail through to the back for people that aren't as agile, shall I
Right.
say. And then there's not as much hills, it's fairly flat terrain, it's easier to get back there for hunting, fishing, whatever,
Yeah.
birding. So the thinking was that we could look at an alternative, and we've looked at some spaces. I think we need to do some more work on that. But the reason I asked for it to be put on there is if we do go for a grant for it, one of the questions you get is what priority is this for the town? Or how important is this for the town? If it's not on the capital list, they're not gonna even look at a possible grant. Now, I don't know if we
No,
wanna go for a grant.
They suggested if you go for a grant funding and then come back with that information.
But
I think they're thinking for next year, because they're making a decision or finalizing. In the next 4 weeks, we have a public hearing scheduled for November 3rd.
I forget the date, yeah, but soon. Yeah, but that could be just by having it on the list and having the capital improvement committee really put it down on the
And say
list.
not funded.
That might help get the grant.
Yeah, because if it says not funded or something like that, that would help say, oh, it's on our list, but we gotta find funding.
Well, I think the way it works, the process, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but my understanding is that if all the projects we put forward to the capital improvement planning committee recommends to the select board then makes a decision, yay or nay. In other words,
Got it.
it won't be on,
Yeah,
it won't be
There's no
anything that's
holdover,
published.
right?
Because they're like, no, we're not doing it.
Okay,
So I think what they're saying is they'd rather not be in a position where they have to say no.
yeah.
but would that be helpful, do you think, if the select board said no, would that be helpful in the grant process?
So, well, there's an alternative solution, maybe.
Oh.
For any grant, we have to get select board approval to go for the grant.
Yeah.
That could be separate from the capital. So if, maybe we could use that instead of being on the capital list. But we still have to have the discussion about this rerouting too, and whether we even wanna go. So the grant just opened up this week, the grant. Yeah, it's open up for this week. There needs to be some preliminary submission by November 21st or something like that for screening, and then a final one for a final submission for the full packages in January. What we've done before is I've not gone for the screening, because that's not an application, that's a screening. For the grant, it's a screening process. You have to be then invited to write for the
Oh,
grant.
okay.
Gone to the select board when it was time to write the grant,
Yeah,
to write
yeah,
the grant application
yeah.
in. So we could do something like that, but I think we can gotta seriously talk about whether we wanna even pursue that or look at rerouting it.
I see a question about that. I was thinking about this in light of the email that Corinne sent, a couple days ago about, a neighboring property owner, putting an application in.
Oh, that I got, yep, that's Ingalls.
I think that's right, but I was thinking about this in the context of. If we were gonna do something for the boardwalk at Pilots, would we be required to put an application into the state? For something related to the wetlands?
So in order to do the grant, I've had to talk to wetlands.
But do we have to put an application in there because? we're
No,
doing
what they
something to
do,
it?
the way they do it is wetlands is actually on their review committee. And so you actually send an email to wetlands before you submit the application and get
Okay.
feedback from wetlands of what would or wouldn't be allowed
Okay,
for the project. So you don't have a permit in hand, but you actually have feedback from wetlands for this submission.
I was a little confused by that email that Corinne sent because the description, there was no description about what this individual was
Gonna do.
seeking to do. It
Yeah,
was just.
I have that.
Oh.
I do. We'll get to that in a
Okay,
few minutes.
okay.
But yeah, you have to, if your project for the grant I've been applying for is in a wetland or near a wetland area, you have to consult before you
Okay.
do the final application. And you have to give that feedback into the application, on the application itself.
Because they
We-
could fix it at that point.
We would be grandfathered if we didn't make changes. There's not much they can do if we kept the boardwalk in the same location, because we would be grandfathered in. If we wanted to extend it, then we would have to have a conversation with them. The extension we had originally been talking about, making it longer, is technically outside of the wetland area based on the ANR,
Yeah.
the state's charting. And only a small corner of the boardwalk is actually it's in land that's wet, but it's not officially in the wetland, and it is dry for most of the year. It's wetland, that area is wetland only in the spring. So I've had to do that already with them and communicating with the wetlands folks ahead of time. They're not happy about it. I can tell you, they're not really happy about us putting something in there, but we could be grandfathered in.
If we wanted to stay there.
If we wanted to. Now, Scott and I have been talking about this rerouting, and we've all talked about it at some point here too. But one of the benefits of rerouting it would be cheaper for us to maintain long-term. It would be easier to maintain long-term, so we might wanna bite the bullet and do it. And we walked it a couple times. Tim's walked it a
Walked it,
couple
yeah.
times.
Good, then you and I walked. it.
Yeah. And
Down there a bunch.
if we were to go along the railroad bed and then take a left at, at the kind of the base of that hill there, you could get back to that location. The only problem is in that corner where the water comes down from the Maple area and then it feeds into the wetland area. But I sent Scott some ideas that the national parks use for diverting water, where you can actually run a trail through that type of area. You can set up channels with big blocks of stone, and so the trail comes up to a hole that's like this wide and a channel of water
So
goes
this-
through.
It's not wetland.
Yeah, and it's
It's
not.
just Gets wet.
Yeah, because of the
Periodically,
flow.
and so manage it appropriate.
So there'd be no permit required for
Right.
us to do whatever we wanted to do. You could do a culvert there, or a couple culverts there and then build up over it. Yeah.
So we thought maybe the next step is to find someone with some expertise that could go down. And maybe use a transit and sort of figure out where this might go and what it would take.
Well, I could do that.
To do it.
I could do that with them.
Okay,
I'll go too.
yeah.
And
And
then
then-
John, I should share this with you, some of the things that the national parks do.
So it
I'll
sounds,
send it.
it sounds like take it off.
Make sure
I
that.
think that's what they're hoping, this committee.
And then we come back and tell them.
Yeah, we're
Longer,
rethinking and for grant application for rerouting.
Well, longer term, it would be better,
I think it would be a better choice too.
because we're
Yeah.
constantly having to fix this thing.
And it,
Well, even if we upgrade it and do put all that money into it, it's still gonna be a maintenance,
Yeah,
a yearly maintenance item.
yeah.
It won't be sitting in long.
Yeah,
The only drawback, and I don't see this as an obstacle at all, but Tim and I raised it when we were doing. It. So we're gonna, from the far end where the meadow is, we would come around the hill instead of down to the
Mhm.
boardwalk. And then across, right, like being saying, across the low area, which is not in the wetland. And then you're right against the railroad bed. And we'll go back along the railroad bed toward the far end and rejoin the trail. So the only downside is that in that section. You got trail above you and trail below you. Part of it's going this way, part of it's going this way.
There's a
little bit,
distance.
but, you know, What the heck? Yeah,
So I think it would be worth looking at. Tim was mentioning it might be easy along some of that sections if we could just dump gravel down along from the railroad bed down there and help create it. And I'm not sure if this is something that we could get help from, like Island Excavators or anything like that, you
yeah,
know?
sure we can.
And we may want to consider also those 3 other areas too that are steep. Seeing if they would be willing to help too.
wonder if the town's even got some stuff in there. Brick wrap dump, that, you know, they'd be willing to put something in there for us or something, you know? And then we could
I
talk.
don't think they've got any of that stuff stockpiled.
So the question I have for the rest of the group is this the way we want to go? Or should I start trying to write a grant?
this seems like a more logical way to go.
And you weren't successful with your grant. I mean, it was an awful lot of work for you last time.
Correct, there were 53 applicants that made it through and only 7 got money. And we got good feedback on our project, we really did get good feedback on, but just too many of them.
So my opinion is even if it costs the same amount of money to reroute it, we'd be in better shape. But I don't think it's gonna cost the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But we do have to think about maintenance in the future. You know, if we went with that through this wetland area, it would be a constant yearly maintenance.
Not if you build these things, so.
Yeah, I'm talking
No,
about
no.
that.
Oh.
Existing.
Through the
Doing the-
Oh,
existing.
exactly,
trail,
I
it
agree
would
with
be
you,
a
I
constant
agree. So
maintenance.
Naket uses some of these, you know,
Yeah,
Naket,
Yeah,
and they have a lot of water runoff over there, and
Exactly.
they seem to last for years and years
Yeah.
with very little maintenance on some of these
That's what we want,
techniques.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Wildlife Refuge isn't building any more boardwalk because of cost
same thing.
upfront and long term.
Yeah.
They're just like, nope, no more.
so why don't we do this, sometime between now and our next meeting, the 3 of us go walk it and come out and then bring it back to this meeting, and I won't do anything on the grant until after that next meeting, and we'll have a little bit more feedback on what the alternative would be, does that make sense?
Exactly. Say,
Okay. And then I'll pause and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Okay, anything else with the boardwalk?
Do we need to take an action? Do we wanna,
if you want,
message the select board asking them to take this off or formally asking them to remove this from their every?
So does this ever lock down or can it be added mid-year or something if that's, I guess.
So the way that we recognize that because the schedule of all the different potential grant, things are fluid. And so like if there's a grant opportunity, let's say in the spring or something, this doesn't preclude anyone from submitting an update to the committee.
So why don't we pause? Because if we were to do this grant, the money doesn't become available until next July at the earliest.
Okay,
So should we pause this one should we take it off?
I was suggest you take it off.
And then if we decide in November to go forward with it, we
Exactly.
wouldn't know until May, probably, maybe April. And then if we get it at April, if we decide to go that route, if we get it, it could go back on.
It would go back on because the select board will have to approve the grant.
Yes.
So they would take whatever the timeline associated
Okay.
with the grant is, the select board would
Yep.
take formal action to approve the grant. And then that's effectively when the next reporting cycle comes for the capital improvement plan. We, you know, it's almost like, couple of the capital projects were already in play before this committee was formed. Like the fire station and public works building, for example. The water line, some of the water, system issues. So those are already in play, so we just sort of added them to the inventory, if you will. Even though that they hadn't actually started construction yet. So
And are two big items.
they're two big items.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that they talked about at the select board meeting, is that, you know, given the voter approval of the bond referendum, for, what was it, $5 million? They're hard pressed to come up really with any money to spend anywhere else.
All right, so what I'm understanding is we take it off. We'll still work on that.
That's-
And then probably in the March, April timeframe, we'll have a better view on
Yeah.
what way we're gonna go forward, and then we can resubmit.
Because, you
That
know,
makes,
grant processes don't follow the schedule that we have.
yeah,
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
What's the name of that trail? It's forgetting.
boardwalk,
It's Boardwalk Trail.
yeah,
I think I'd be able to remember that. So.
we'll have to rename it though.
Boardwalk West.
Would you like a motion?
I think, yeah, to take it off, to take it off the
Okay.
list until we finish our assessment.
Okay, how about we remove the capital improvement application for the boardwalk? And we pursue rerouting the boardwalk trail away from the boardwalk in lieu of examination and estimate of an alternate route option.
And with potential grant applications,
Yeah,
grant funding applications,
I think that sounds good, because so it won't be in discussion for this budget round,
right?
but it could come back
Yeah.
at some, probably less if it comes back,
Well, if
but
it comes back, if there's a grant
yeah, yeah,
approval, they have no reason. not to
yeah,
approve it.
right,
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 because there
right.
may be money available to help us build the alternate route.
Right,
Mhm.
so I'll second that motion.
Okay, just so that it's clear, you had, did you
So I
get?
have a motion made by Scott, seconded by Michael to remove the capital improvement committee request. And pursue rerouting the trail around the route.
In lieu of an examination and estimate of the alternate route option.
I have a second. Any other comments?
We'll have more of an idea of it, if it will work after we get out there and
Exactly.
hack through the roads and see if we can find an alternate route.
Yep.
Okay, in lieu of it,
I don't, that doesn't have to be hard.
Examination.
an estimate
Estimate of
of,
the alternate, of an alternate route option.
okay, thank you. Should have learned shorthand.
So we have a motion on the table. We have a first and second. Any comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
Thank you. Gene, if you wouldn't mind, contacting Lisa. Our office,
Yep.
it's a lot better. Cause she tracks all
Okay, a couple other things I sent around for PLOTs. I sent around a blurb from our geocaching crew. I don't know if everyone got a
Yeah.
chance to take a look at it. They're moving ahead, donating any funds for what it takes, and they're talking about potentially adding a few more and taking over two that are not even ours, so
It's good news.
it is good news. And then I have had, just so everyone's aware, I've had a few people contact us about hunting at Pilots and asking questions about it, so there's people interested, just a heads up.
We're talking about, oh, okay, two lots, not.
Feelings, if something is allowed.
Exactly. I know that there's some tree stands behind Angles up and. So, yeah,
Not on our property, right?
no.
Okay. Anything else with Pilots? Okay, moving on to Engels, the roof is done.
Is this us?
And the railing for the ramp, I know you've been away, John.
I've been away, I have it, it's on my schedule, but I just had one new water line put in the house, I gotta finish it.
Ooh, anything going on with the kitchen?
Excuse me?
Kitchen? Anything
Kitchen,
going on?
it'll be a little later this fall.
What needs to happen in the kitchen?
Oh, there's still new pine to put up,
By the back door?
by the back door and a couple other spots.
Looking pretty good to me.
The bathroom latch, did you have a chance to look at that? Kids were getting locked in it this summer.
I thought I fixed that.
Oh, maybe you did. It could be.
I'll take a
Okay.
look at it again, or maybe I'll switch it out to a different kind of lock, but, I thought I took care of that.
The puncheons and the vernal pool platform, we had discussed possibly removing or replacing these. Well, putting a bench, I think, was putting some stone down and putting a
Still,
fence.
Getting that structure out of there
Mhm.
and just putting some stone there.
Do you think this is something we should do this fall? We have in the spring, we were talking about doing those other areas in P lots. I was just wondering if this
It would
would
be easier to do it in the fall because it's
be
dry.
dry.
Yeah. And those other pieces of boardwalk that are, impassable. Yeah,
There's 3 of them there,
Yeah.
yeah,
while we're taking that out, we should take all of that.
at the same time, yeah. We're gonna have to do something about that wet area.
Yeah.
Do we know anybody that could help us with this? Is this something Chad could do?
Chad,
Take it off.
I would call Chad to do that. He's got a small machine that can get in there and take that stuff out and put some stone down over the wet areas.
Do you want you and I to meet with him or something?
Yeah. that can be done. I should be caught up with my projects at home after this one.
I don't think I know.
Probably cover out of the whole.
I'm
taking a pause.
The current project.
Hypothetical lines.
Well, I would actually put the line in, but I've got to do all the inside plumbing. For the college, so.
And then wood chip did Terry get in touch with you? Or is she gonna talk to the wood chips?
Tips.
She hasn't.
Okay.
The last I heard was that she had talked to Andy Ailing about it
Right.
using his tractor
All right.
also.
Just a little closer.
I don't know if she's taking it any further.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's getting ready to leave soon.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
The school's been there a couple of times now. You probably saw on the paper, the art/French class, the open air.
Yep.
Art French class, and last Friday, you wanna give an update on that, Bob?
Yeah.
Bernie?
Oh my gosh, it was, well, perfect weather. Younger kids arrived at 8:30. And the teachers were so well organized. They had all these little activities set up and. Then the older kids arrived at lunchtime. Both groups had lunch together outside, and then the younger kids went back to school and the older kids stayed for the afternoon. It was like the perfect youth for Camp Angles. It's a whole bunch
It
of
was the
kids.
whole school, right?
It was the whole.
for pre-K.
Yeah.
Great.
How about kids?
I don't know.
There was one group of 69 and one group of 79. Plus parents and teachers.
That's great.
It was very successful. The teachers were super well organized
And they want to do it again.
and they want to do it again. Yeah,
Good.
just like
Wrong to.
we
Yep.
want them to.
Wonderful.
And there wasn't there.
Dan Foster was sort of in charge of all of the activities. And do you know Dan?
No.
He's a gym
He's-
teacher?
He's the PE teacher.
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
Did he do the kayak?
Yeah.
Yes, he did our kayak. So everything was totally organized and,
Excellent.
yeah.
Wasn't there, questions or discussion about winterizing
Yes,
the longhouse?
we thought about that, how lovely that would be.
I've been thinking
It's so
that
easy.
for years.
It's so easy.
A little.
It
would be-
Oh,
it would
Sorry,
be-
back on your-
But that, if it was winterized, you know, we could hold things year round.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. I mean, the fireplace is a joke, actually.
But
Because
if
it doesn't-
otherwise you could-
It doesn't give off any heat at all. It looks okay. It doesn't give off any.
But it's a long-term. dream,
Yeah.
I think.
I've got a nice. Wood stove, so yeah.
I'm not sure if that would help at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a fun day.
Is it time to call the plumber?
It is. we were
Done.
Just talking about.
Done? Okay. And did we,
Sorry, I'm just curious, what plumber do you use for that?
Pete Merlin.
Okay,
He lives in Almont.
yeah.
Yeah. He's been doing it for as long as we've been. So. He knows where to go and move that building.
so there's some discussion about recoding the lots now. I think we should wait until April. March, April.
Why was there discussion about it? Was there an incident?
No,
No, okay,
no, it was brought up at a previous meeting.
okay.
So wait until like April after, new member thing, the whole new member or renewal member.
All right, that's a good idea.
Okay, on Butternut, there, I don't know if you're familiar with the trail where that big tree fell down and the trail a couple of years ago was rerouted around the base of that tree.
Mhm.
Well, now there's a big tree that goes around that, right across that U. That rerouting around the big tree, now it's a big tree right there. Now, this is not our property, but it might impact us for people walking out there or snowshoeing out there when we do great ice, so we need to keep that in mind, but I'll send an email to Jack, but he hasn't taken care of the tree I emailed him on like 2 or 3 years ago, so
Hmm.
I don't think he's,
The last I knew, they didn't want us cutting anything.
nope,
Right.
they don't.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's not easy to reroute because you have the big tree that came down before with its base. And the trail went around like this and went this, and now this comes there and cuts that U off, so you have these big trees. I mean, you can't easily get around. Without going through quite a bit of woods, so it isn't like it's gonna be easy to reroute the trail, but he won't let us do that anyway.
Maybe some, adventurous individual will reroute it for us. You know,
The trail pirates.
we could find a way for us to get around. I know Andy Ailing hikes out there with his dog all the time.
I think he has a connection with Jack and he gets to do stuff out there that we don't get to do.
Oh,
Yeah, so maybe I should talk to him. Maybe he can get it. Get it done. No, we had a discussion about hunting the other day, mainly related to, a couple months ago, a few weeks ago, mainly related to the different areas between us and Ingalls and Nature Conservancy. I think Jack's only concern when he contacted Terry was really how the map displayed his property for hunters to have that information, but that's not really our problem, right?
Right.
So was there anything else associated with that we had to deal with?
No. I
Um,
think at the last meeting, we decided not to do anything.
Well, you had mentioned at the last meeting that unless it's posted, anybody can go on there. Should we be posting Ingalls?
That was the question I was just gonna ask.
That-
Should we be posting our properties?
Yeah, because if it's not posted,
They can use it.
they can use it.
Yeah.
So
And we can still allow people to hunt there, you know,
even if it's posted.
even if it's posted, we could have an agreement with someone and say, yeah, you're allowed to hunt
But
here.
it's always been a no hunting area
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
at
On
the
Angles.
Angles property
But
itself.
the boundary isn't really clear
Boundary is very, well,
all the way.
It is.
Around
We know
towards
it.
Yandow's and,
Yeah.
yeah, we know where it is, but I mean, for someone.
Yandell has he's kind of posted his side.
Okay,
But I don't think it meets the requirements of every 50 feet, whatever it is.
it has to be, I know it has to be visible.
Visible from one to the
One
other.
side.
And it needs to be, I can't remember, but it needs to be registered too.
Okay, you have to, you pay.
Yeah, they're
You
downstairs.
pay $10 downstairs.
Yeah,
It used to be $10.
we probably should look into doing that, if we want to restrict it
The only burden is you have to sign it and date it
Yeah.
every year.
every year.
Yeah, so someone has to walk the thing or.
Does the select board have say over
I've never known the select board to do anything about that, about
that?
hunting or hosting.
Just curious, because
Yeah,
technically town property.
I think it's pretty routine, but, and doesn't come to the select board level.
you could alert them that we're doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Corinne would know about that, yeah.
so would we wanna do the footpath? Because the footpath is right along state line, as state property, or do we wanna allow it there?
The footpath is within the safety zone of the houses.
There's no safety zone unless you put a sign up. I looked
Well,
at
if it's
the
a house
rules.
there.
Nope.
Hmm.
You have to have one of those white signs up for, that's 500 feet from the house, you know, a 500 foot perimeter from an occupied building or something like that.
Yeah,
And does it count if it's a camp and nobody's there? Is it unoccupied?
Then you better post. Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
occupied means.
Yeah.
I didn't dig that deep, but I would think you'd wanna post then.
Yeah.
If you didn't.
Mm.
now that property line would not be easy to find. Through the swamp.
Well, I know hunters use it to go down there
Do they?
to get to the state property.
Ah,
I've seen them there. Not this year, last year, the year before.
I don't think I'd worry about that.
Okay,
That trail, because even if you posted the 80-foot swath, people are gonna be hunting on one side.
yep. Yep,
And they're still gonna, they're still gonna be walking down there. So.
okay, so we gotta think about posting Ingalls, so,
Yeah.
okay. Next up is that neighborhood, what Corinne had sent around was the Yando property. So that's the property that it goes in an L shape kind of around the Ingalls property, and they're allowed to go, build they have permits right now for 2 houses.
Yes, I heard about that, yeah.
And the wetlands permit they're going for, so there's a wetlands that goes right through the middle of that property. And they need to put a bridge to get to the back property, so they're gonna have a front property and a back property and the wetlands in the middle, but the driveway. Coming off of South End Road would have to go over this wetlands to get to the back property. So they're going for a permit for that. Bridge or some type to get back to that second property. Do you
Right,
think
are
it-
they thinking of going in from south end near the old West Shore Road? Or,
No, so he owns a piece of property, right, maybe 4 houses down from Ingalls.
Yeah.
North,
yeah,
and then if you know, there is a little driveway there, that's just a driveway.
Mm.
And he's going back from there. The reason he can only go to 2 houses, I think, was because he's got like
The width of the road or
40
something.
acres back there or something.
Yeah.
But the width of the road
Yeah.
is too small and he can only have 2 houses. And I think he's permitted for like 7 houses back there from a septic. But he's only going for 2 because of the driveway situation. Although I think I saw in the last DRB that, he's still gonna have to do something about the driveway because the setbacks aren't right, something. So the permit he's going for is that wetlands bridge. That wetlands, where the bridge is, I believe, is what feeds into the Nature Conservancy property
Yeah.
behind our property.
yeah, finger,
Yep.
right? Goes up.
Yeah.
So this is probably, I think it's only gone to the Development Review Board once so far. So I think he's got another 1 or 2 trips after he gets these other permits in place, and he has to go back to the Development Review Board.
Was Corinne looking for some response from this committee?
So we have to be notified, cause I put us as an interested party on their application.
Adjacent landowner, is that?
Adjacent
Yeah.
landowner, yeah, so we're an interested party.
Yeah,
So in
yeah.
case we have any issues or anything, we had to, you had to say that up front, or you can't speak up for the rest of the process.
Corinne said, please let me know if anyone from Parks and Rec wants to address the select board regarding this.
It's not even near our property.
Just what are you
I'll check with her tomorrow because the so our property is down here. And this is where they're talking about the road being way up here, and this is like 40 acres here, something like that. So it's not even near our property. The only thing I can think of is maybe they're concerned because of the wetland flow, but that goes into the Nature Conservancy.
The town.
And it's being addressed by permitting, right?
Yeah,
Brit-
wetlands.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to go through wetlands permit for this,
Yeah,
which would
yeah.
address
I think
that.
that wetlands is almost on our back property line.
She says the town is receiving the notice as an abutter for Camp Angles.
Yeah, that's what all of these have been.
Sure.
It's probably one corner of of Engels, right? That is,
I don't.
And no,
protecting that property,
back.
even though it's a
So-
distance
Oh,
away.
no, the whole side.
So,
Yeah.
so here's the Engels property here, and this is his property right here.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's
yeah.
like this and
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Surrounds us, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a notification that if we have an issue with it, I think we needed to go back to her, go back to the select board
Yeah,
and
just-
raise our hand.
You'll just follow up with her.
I'll follow up with her. Because I looked at it as just another one of these things and I had looked at all the information before, so. Just another send to us on it, okay. Anything else on Ingalls? Okay, the footpath, Terry had mentioned she thinks we should clear the entrance, but I'll let her address that.
The entrance.
So you know how it's kind of grown
Yeah.
over in there to
Yeah.
cut it back around, especially around the entrance gate, yeah. But I think she's thinking about possibly getting trail stewards to do that. There is a large tree down there that's giant and
Mhm.
one of the big branches has broken off, it's kind of dangling there. I think we should have that tree down, so. You might look into getting a tree service to do that, it's way too big for her.
Yeah,
It's huge.
the big tree.
Anything else with footpath?
A lot of beach at the end of it now, huh? I know.
Somebody came to look at something, that lives in St. Albans, he said you can walk to Burton Island now.
Really?
Well, he-
If it-
Yeah.
Is it the Lamoille River that's right over here,
Mhm.
right? You can walk, I think you can walk across that. Did you guys-
Lake Ordinance at its normal level, it's really intriguing now, seeing all these things.
Yeah, surfacing,
Yeah.
Yes,
like the sandbar is like.
yeah, I know.
I want more beach and
Yeah.
wetlands and mud flats and everything.
Yeah,
Flats,
yeah.
You could stay that way, actually, I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
Paul, I actually was 2 weeks ago, standing on our embankment and looking at the lake, and we saw 3 rusted metal pipes going straight out. into-
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we went down there and we were able to remove all of them.
Oh.
One of them was 100 feet long.
Old water pipes? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're just completely covered in zebra mussels and
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like crumbling as they're like picking them up.
Eh,
It's crazy to think of.
well, thanks for doing that.
Mm.
Anything else with the footpath? All right, did you meet with Mary Jo on the Ingles rental process?
Didn't.
No, okay,
No.
should I put it on for
Next time, yes.
November?
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember to instigate that.
Camps, she's completed buying some of the nature guides. She was
Oh, yeah.
bringing here today to show everybody, so I'm not sure where she is.
She said she wasn't feeling well.
Oh,
I don't know
okay,
if she texted or emailed or something. I just looked at my email.
okay,
She's
And then we had started a discussion about camp closing policy. I think, if I recall correctly, you were gonna check to see if that was something we should be, or the select board should be involved in. Is there a policy component that we need to?
For closing,
So this is when, we were
it's
concerned
gone.
about.
I didn't do it.
We were concerned about when we're having camps there, other people coming onto the property.
Oh, right.
The school had didn't you say the school had the sheriff's department there?
They did it in the
Yeah.
summer at the.
They had them there just to meet the kids and.
Okay,
And
Got
interact
it,
with the kids,
okay.
as well as the fire department, so it was
Okay.
part of the plan,
be
but
part of the plan.
what
okay.
happened this summer was that, one of our camp leaders had a bunch of preschoolers out on the trail and 2 dogs.
Yes, yes, I remember that discussion now. I'd forgotten it.
And,
Yeah,
I called Robert about that, but there was really nothing he could do because he really didn't, he said, I could usually recognize the owner with the description of the dog.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Colleen gave me a pretty good description, he didn't
Yeah.
recognize it. But they were out of his sight, running at preschoolers.
Yeah.
So we've talked about just roping off the parking lot during, when camp is in session, so that no one is on the trails. And I think that would probably be the safest thing to do.
But I think, Michael, you brought it, is that our decision, or
Well,
is
it-
this something that the select board should
Yeah,
need to
and,
be involved
okay,
in?
I will do that. I'm sorry that slipped.
That's
Um,
okay.
But what we're talking about, as I recall, there was a discussion between closing the camp or maybe just area around the building, which doesn't preclude the problem that happened.
The trail,
Yeah.
they all use the
They use
trail.
The trail, that's part of nature camp is to be on.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
trail.
yeah,
And the older
yeah.
kids, 6, 7, 8-year-olds,
Okay.
way back. And
Okay.
Preschoolers just sort of stay on the front couple of loops, so.
Okay,
We do not want to have another situation like that.
I think we could design a sign and some.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah.
Notices that says
For
the summer of
this,
these things.
or for this time period.
Yeah.
yeah,
These days or whatever.
yeah.
Right,
Or one sign for the summer might work. These dates
exactly.
between the hours
Yeah.
of
You know what, I can say,
exclusive use by camp.
I
right.
think, yeah, we could advertise that, but I think blocking off the parking lot.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, even when I was blocking off the parking lot after that incident, people were still like pulling in and wondering if they could hide.
Uh-huh.
So it has to be really clear and it has to be a visible barrier.
Okay,
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
So whether that's, I mean, do we have the
Yeah.
right to do it? But we would also like the select board's backing on if we
Okay,
do do
okay.
it.
Yeah, maybe something like, well, park is closed for day camp usage or something.
yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
not, the park is gonna be closed all day.
Right.
It's during the hours of the camp. Yeah,
So the camp leader would set it up in the morning and take it down.
yeah.
Before
Um,
parents picked up kids.
So we're looking for posting and closing the camp during camp hours.
Right.
They would
And
have
it-
to put up some kind of post in a gate or a cable.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about that with the select board, but I think
No.
just let them know that this is a plan and, yeah,
And this is what we would like to do. Do we have their backing, or do they have to make that decision?
right, okay.
I am sure that they will agree with it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
We
Yeah.
do not want that to happen.
Yeah.
again.
Cause Steve, I mean, even somebody just walking. If they don't even in their car, they could be walking up to that area.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at how schools are locked down these days, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you
If
know,
that happened to be dogs, it could be.
yeah, exactly,
people.
exactly. Yeah,
Exactly. Could be some
It's the
sort of
same criteria.
weirdos out on the trail
yeah, exactly.
making, yeah.
No weirdos allowed.
Yeah.
During these hours.
And actually, the town might even like that, because if we have signage, obviously we can't, if somebody is walking around, we can't stop them, but that might give some legal protection
Yeah.
to the town if anything happened.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think it's also
Got it.
something from a marketing perspective to the parents, letting them know.
oh, yes,
That this. We're taking some precautions.
yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah. Well, there could be incidents too. I mean, like a non-custodial parent showing up,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
you know, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
you got.
Okay, I will do it.
Okay, thank you.
I have until July. Is that okay?
Well, we need to make the sign, so maybe.
Okay.
Handyman, I know Tim was gonna ask Art, but Tim's away. He's in Ireland, I think, right now. And were you gonna talk to Joe Kaminsky about potentially having a handyman, similar to how we used with Chad?
Yes. We did talk about that.
Remember that?
Mm.
Just in Italy someplace.
Okay, we'll revisit it next time. Pickleball.
You know, I think everything's going smoothly over at Night Point.
If they're open, did
Yeah,
you go
I don't
know
really
it?
know. I haven't.
I don't think they were gonna open this year, right?
But people are playing.
Oh, they are?
That's
They have
great.
net stuff and stuff?
Mhm.
Oh,
So.
I didn't know that. They look beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm injured, so I haven't been playing, but
Uh-oh.
people have signed up and stuff, so I think it's good.
With the park.
Well, they have an agreement to just drive through now.
Yeah,
and Pay no dues, and they're gonna work that out later.
Oh, so members have been going over there and
Right,
playing. Okay, okay.
But they're not getting whatever the North Hero voucher, it's just sort of wave and keep going.
Well, we're after their
Yeah.
hours.
Right.
It's after,
It's
after
after
the
the season.
yeah, it's out of
Okay.
season.
They always leave the gate open.
Yeah.
So,
So that's what they've been doing.
I'm surprised how few people have been on the playing, you know.
I think it's getting a little quieter for people,
Yeah.
people are starting out,
Yeah,
so,
but boy, they are nice.
yeah, that's a wonderful.
are they
thing.
still using the school,
Mhm.
North Hero School, in the morning?
A little bit.
But that's less of a problem now without kids there.
Yes, it's not a problem, and the problem might be that next spring they say no, but
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
for right now, we're still good
Yeah.
there.
For the portalet, if they're supposed to remove it at the end of the month, but we had trouble with them one year where if somebody didn't call them to specifically say remove it, then they had a little fit about
You want me
it.
to call?
Yeah, if you don't mind
Is it,
calling.
is it the same one everyone uses, the?
The CSS.
CSS,
Yep.
I will call CSS, and the date you would like it removed is,
So it was the original plan was the end of this month.
okay,
I think the girl that's back there now, I think it was somebody else working there. I think the girl that's in the office now is
little.
is a little bit more organized and
Okay.
so, but for one time they kind of yelled at the town about it.
Okay, I will call tomorrow, 10:31.
Okay, that it for pickleball?
That's all I know.
And then I haven't heard anything about the PTA and fall funds. I was hoping Mary Jo could fill us in, but I'll follow up with her. Okay, so moving into planning, we had the discussion about the capital budget item for the boardwalk. Is there anything anybody sees not for this term, but in longer term for capital that we would need, not for right now, but
Winterize in the Longhouse?
Dare to dream.
Mm.
Did I even write that down?
No.
Kicked around the idea of an observation deck kind of a thing.
Yeah, with gazebo,
It'd be lots.
oh, at Pilates, too,
Yeah.
yeah, Bernie.
Down by the bay,
Down back there.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Audubon would, provide some funding for that, because when I mentioned it to them, they were very excited, so.
Yeah.
I don't know how much funding, but.
Well, those are nice observation decks they have up in Albert. Or no, Swanton it is, yeah, those
Yeah.
trails are nice and having those platforms there is very nice.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You can build a little lake up over Dune State Park and, oh my God, that is beautiful.
That's a
It's like this massive beach. It's it's just gorgeous. Or actually, it was relatively chilly day, I was there one day last week, and there were like probably half a dozen people, young people and older people, like in the water. It was great to see. Very. One thing, I don't know if this, we sort of I brought this up a couple times. Long term, is some sort of access point at Ingles to the lake shore.
I think we have that on the
That's on the
list.
list, okay.
Yeah,
Might
yeah, I've
show
been
us up.
looking over that bank for, the past 15 years and, especially when you look over there now, there's a huge beach down there.
Yeah, right now, there,
Yeah, but even when the water's high, there's still.
It's
yeah. A
still
little bit,
beach.
or even like some sort of like seating area, like even like maybe like a long gazebo or something like.
Right.
Something that's, somebody could just go and sit and like look out at the lake, cause right now it's all overgrown with the trees and shrubbery.
Yeah.
It's mostly all rubble there.
Yeah,
so you'd have
it
to
is.
kinda-
Yeah, it is, it's just, it seems to me like it's just such a beautiful
Yeah,
spot that's under,
Be a nice spot for a dock.
yeah, or something.
Who cares how skinny that beach is if you got.
Yeah, you could walk out and just enjoy it, like especially in the evening and the sun setting and.
well, we've talked to people that, the women that actually used to went to Camp Angles when they were young, and one of them was they were both ended up being counselors there, and one of them was in charge of the waterfront. There used to be,
Wow.
a huge docks and everything. down there.
Wow.
Yeah,
How cool.
but then that whole bank along that street started falling.
The road.
apart. And so they had to put that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun to look at.
But it's nice, it's nice because the stones below are small. You
Yeah.
know, they're not gigantic stones, they're nice.
Oh, it's
Comfortable.
all just ledge, flat,
Yeah.
ledge.
Is it? Yeah. I saw there was an invitation to the Nature Conservancy's use of this property up across
Yeah.
from the school.
Yeah,
I wonder what their plan there is. I wanna go. see.
I'll be there.
Huh?
That's,
Sure, you get
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I got something like
It's a
this.
Yeah.
beautiful piece of property and we had hoped that a young farm family would actually work the land. It's a beautiful,
they were trying to sell it years ago, and
Ah.
it just,
it would have been so nice to,
but it's got a lot of restrictions on the property.
Does it?
the whole neighborhood is sort of up in this about it.
All right, next up, the budget. I sent around based on the feedback I've gotten, I sent it around. A few weeks, I guess it's about a week or so now.
Yeah, I went over it today, I think it's, I think we've got everything covered. And, it's actually, some of it's a little less, the total is a little more, but if I remember correctly, I can't see it now.
exactly.
Well,
Like $45 cheap.
Lost our computer screen, so.
It's good, right?
Yeah, 45 cheaper than last year.
$44.
Yeah, 40, that's right. Yeah.
44, whatever.
So,
Did we
Don't
get the
spend that.
bill from the state parks in terms of,
Not yet.
okay,
Last time it came in, oh, no, it should be coming now.
Yeah.
Coming.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
last,
I think
the
it'll
year
be
before
more.
last, it came in December.
Mhm.
Last year it came in early October.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I think it would be more. We were putting out more cards this year than the past year.
So I did up that to $5,000 in the contract for not this year, but for next year. Because we don't know what pickleball will have to do. Are there any, we have to agree to this tonight because this has to go to the
Well,
select board this
I'll
month.
make a motion that we accept.
Are there any other comments on this at all? We're fine.
So you did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I'll
we did
second
too.
the motion to adopt this, proposed budget.
Any further comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Gene, for
Yeah,
bringing this.
thank you.
Yes.
It's a
Any
lot of work.
opposed? Okay, that's approved. I'll forward that on. I did want to mention that, I don't know if you did notice that there's different categories in there.
Mhm. I think it made more sense.
And we have to do it actually, well, it's a recommendation of the auditor, because he wanted to be able to. And probably Michael knows this better than me, counter between, what we're bringing in for. Camps versus what we're expending against camps, but we're lumping all events in that too.
Okay,
So that's why it's broken out a little bit more. All right, thank you. Um. And we had been discussing alternative financing sources like a 503C, 501(c), whatever that is. But in talking to Lisa about this, I had originally been told that anything that we got in this year had to be used this year for a donation, different than the grant for donation, anything is what I've been under that assumption for a couple of years, because I was told that. But Lisa said that if it's a donation, she thinks it should be treated more like a grant. And it could carry over to other years. And if that's the case, we really don't need another organization to raise money. We could just take in donations ourselves. Instead of setting up something else to do that, and we don't even know what we could get for donations. I mean.
Right.
It might be squeezing out too much from the local townspeople because of all the expenses that we have got going on right now for our town.
Have you spoken to Lisa about, a reserve? And some of the other committees in the town have, reserves.
Yeah, the cemetery.
Cemetery, there's a library,
Library.
they have reserves for which they've put money in. This is a big discussion of the capital improvement,
Yeah.
planning committee,
Yeah.
just in terms of how the town budgets and how. I think over time, my impression is that the select board would like to move away from each of these individual reserves, and if the select board has one reserve as opposed to all these with one. But currently, some of these reserves exist, and I'm wondering if, maybe a conversation with Lisa about if there's a donation or donations, if we could plop that money into the reserve, which is basically available for as long as the select board allows the committee to have it.
Yeah.
So there's no requirement to spend that down at any given time.
Oh.
Like in some of the capital improvement projects that are being proposed this year, a couple of them are being funded with their quote unquote reserve fund.
Oh, okay, I'll check with her, I'll talk to her and see what the possibilities are.
It's like when they did the fence in the cemetery,
Right.
that came out of the reserve
Reserve.
fund, but they've been planning that
I
for.
think the
Right.
community hall has a reserve fund. Do they have? Or
No,
is that the?
well, we have an endowment, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the endowment.
yeah.
So they must put something in their budget each year.
Well, that.
Exactly, Yeah. and
Or do you, if you have extra money, can it?
That's a question I think you have to be worth asking.
Okay,
Because if they allowed, a certain percentage of your overall budget to go into a reserve, for example, just plop that in there at the top and then.
Oh.
And you know that you're gonna.
If
there might
you're gonna
some
be under.
expenditure,
Yeah.
5 years from now, it's gonna cost, I'm making this up, $35,000.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
have a reserve built up,
yeah,
um,
and I think that's the tension between this, CIP thing is new, and I think
Right.
that's one of the tensions that's coming up. Is people for a long time have been putting away their money.
they're nickels and dimes.
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
all right, I'll check with her and see what it
You'd
is.
want some assurance that if it changed, you.
You'd have the opportunity to spend it down.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Right,
yeah,
keep it somehow.
yeah.
We always get donations in terms of swim lessons for kids,
Yep,
and we don't always use them.
well, we've got this grant money from GMA that's like $1,400. Oh, and I forgot. Kim gave us $200. She gave us $50 early in the year. This is the woman that uses the yoga. Kim Ingles, she gave us $200 for donation and $50 earlier. So now we have 1,400 something for GMA and 250 for this and whatever's left over from swim lessons. So that's right.
Yeah.
I think the reserve, it might be good to talk with Lisa, because this is all new, because. It used to be that we could ask the select board to roll
Carry
over.
forward.
Yeah,
But it wasn't automatic.
It wasn't automatic.
Yeah,
We had to
yeah,
ask
yeah.
them, but we always did.
Yeah,
Then,
yeah,
new accounting started and we
Yeah.
couldn't do that anymore. I think that
Yeah.
you remember that.
Yeah,
And so now, having a reserve fund, cause I think, cause Lisa and Corinne were saying they keep the donations separate, but in what kind of format is that?
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile asking, like, or maybe Lisa knows the answer to this question, or Corinne, like, how the library or the cemetery, committees, how they fund everything.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, what's a lot, is there like some government accounting procedure, I don't know, which is something that probably defines what can actually.
Go in there.
Go in there.
We told with our nonprofit that we can't, unless the donor agrees to future use, you have to use it in your fiscal year.
Hmm.
And we're fighting right now with our fiscal agent because we don't want to use it this year.
Yeah.
So I think it's a question that, I don't know who may ask the answer, but
So are you a 501c3? Okay, so we're not.
yeah,
Munis.
Right.
No, Kim's last name is I'm drawing a blank.
months.
Months.
All right, we have some invoices we have to go through. There's, I think 4 of them, I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna rattle them all off and then we vote one package here. First one is Robinson's, which I'm not sure if I sent out. This is for blazing, Terry. Kind of, where she was doing the blazing, it looks like she got some sponges or something. It was $10.98. The second one is Robinson's for $25.70, and that was for, Tim bought some decking for the boardwalk to repair the boardwalk and pilots. The third one is from Better World Books. This is some of the guidebooks. Mary Jo had gone over our pre-approved amount with the one bill. This pushes it over the top. So we need to approve that. That is for $41.11. And then she also got some cleaning supplies from Hannaford from $7.39. So a motion to approve those 4 invoices or
So moved.
receipts?
Second.
Any comment? All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Any pre-approvals that everyone's aware of? Okay. And then an update on the status, since got information from the town and the few other things came in right now. If we do everything we say we're gonna do, we've got about $845, but there's plenty of breathing room and some of the other elements in there. Anything else before we adjourn? Okay, motion,
So move.
second,
Second.
any further comments? All in favor?
I.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, Jean.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Yeah,
that
well,
were.
Good.
Just FYI, I